You mentioned boxing, man. What's that been about? Is that a new venture you trying to get into?
Yeah. So, one day I was just messing around, I was on the farm and started looking at my Instagram and everything, and then somebody in the past had mentioned Redneck Brawl, and then I saw it come across my thing, and it said February 17th, Cincinnati's having another Redneck Brawl, and there was a couple videos that people called out like, "Hey, I'm in Cincinnati and all this, like I'll fight you," and there's one guy in my weight class, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do a video and send it in, and I sent it into the Instagram to the Redneck Brawl, and it didn't go through, so somebody responded back to me, like, here, send to a Dropbox. So I did, and it was like a day or two, and I got this weird phone call, like, from out of state, and it was the owner of Redneck Brawl, Chris Smith, and he told me, like, hey, I saw your video you sent in, and you're from Nashville, Tennessee, this is going to be good, a lot of people, it's going to blow up. So I was like, all right, so he got me with this guy from Cincinnati called, his name's Lucas, but his fight name is Crawfish Crawdaddy. Well, we were going back and forth having our videos for like a month and a half, and then we found out that we couldn't fight each other because Cincinnati has a boxing ordinance law, and he was 35 and I was 30, and like you can't do that age difference. So I was like, it was like a couple weeks before the fight, maybe like 3 weeks, and I was like, dang, I'm not gonna get a fight. Like, what's gonna happen now? Well, I looked on the page, Redneck Brawl page, and this guy named Angry Mechanic was calling me out. So, yeah, he was calling me out, and I thought it was funny, like, talking about me wearing a tight shirt and all this stuff. So I was like, you know what? I was like, I want to fight him. So I made another video right then, because after that video, like, I was at work, but, I'm going to send one in. Send it to the Chris Smith guy, and waited a day or two, and I called him. I was like, hey, like, did you get my video? Because other people were trying to fight this dude. And he was like, yeah, I got your video. You want to fight him? I was like, yeah. He's like, well, what's happening? So, and it was a couple of days later. He sent me the itinerary. I had to go get my blood work and all that stuff. And then they got me my hotel. And here I was in Cincinnati this past week, 4.5 hour drive up there.
Hell yeah.
And the guy, Angry Mechanic, was talking his smack and all that, of course, going back and forth through Messenger, Facebook, and the Redneck Brawl page. And I was like, you know what, I got to stop this. Like, my first fight, and this guy's over here talking his little shit all the time. It's like, hey, this ain't going to happen. And then it was like, yeah. Well, and it was like, 4 days before, this guy named Joe Mack reached out to me because there was a guy on Facebook that's mutual friends with my mom and everything, and he knew I was a Marine. He's like, in the boxing thing, saw my videos, and he was like, I'm gonna reach out to my friend, what's their from Antioch, and he reached out to Joe Mack, and Joe Mack's a gun glove boxer, a trainer, a cut man, like he does announcing and everything. He's all professional. And 4 days before, he called me and, like, wanted to speak on the phone about this stuff. And I told him what was going on. The fight, and I was like, this is my first fight, He's like, well, who's going up there with you? And I was like, I'm going by myself. He's like, well, that ain't happening. He's like, where's this at? Send me the information. Send me all the information. And then he called me back a couple hours later, and he's like, I got a hotel room. I will see you up there.
Hell yeah.
See you up there Saturday. And I was like, wow. So, and he came up there. It was great, man. Like, he kept his word. Like, him and his wife came up there, and they're both professional, like boxing in the corner. They can do that. And I was like, oh, this is like wild, because like nobody else had that except for me. I have 23 fights, and so I had my own guy in the corner, my own management and everything, and it was a new experience. So
hell yeah,
it was great.
You felt like you was in Creed.
Yeah. So it was great.
Hey, pull that mic closer.
Yeah. So
pull that mic closer.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. Anyways, like, we're getting our physicals and everything throughout the day, and everybody's like looking at me like, "Who's this guy you got with you?" Because he gave me the shirt.
Yeah.
Here, I got a card right here
to represent.
Yeah. This right here. Rock Solid is who my guy is. So you want to see that card? That's my guy.
Rock Solid Combat Sports Management. Joe Mack.
But yeah, so he gave me like.
Oh yeah. When
he brought
you got a card, you know you would. Oh, this.
Yeah, he brought all these shirts and everything.
Too.
So like me and him and his wife were over there wearing these shirts, and everybody's like, "Hey, can you train me before our fights?" But it was wild because we were
45 plus years of experience.
So we had our boxing gloves and everything.
Okay. Yeah, that's fire, bro. Like, hey, y'all know how I used to drive back then.
Oh,
my tank on E, bro. My tank on E. I'm like, where does this girl live? By the grace of God, I found her house.
Yeah.
Found her mailbox. Just stuffed the shit in the mailbox.
Teddy bear.
Bruh, I parked in the cul-de-sac. Got like one bar.